Hundreds of Northern Illinois University staff members demand the administration lift a ban on student recruitment within the acting program.
WIFR News reporter Sydney Stoffregan talks with the president of the NIU United Faculty Alliance, who says the ban came out of the blue with no input from staff.
At 8:30 Monday morning, more than 270 staff and students joined a rally outside Altgeld Hall to fight for what they call the anchor of the School of Theater and Dance.
This is about maintaining quality programs for students.
Mark Van Wienen, the president of the Northern Illinois University Faculty Alliance, and more than 200 faculty members speak out on a student recruitment ban for the Masters in Fine Arts and Acting program. Monday morning, staff delivered a petition to NIU President Lisa Freeman, saying pausing the program threatens the university's shared governance policy.
It means that the creation of programs, the maintenance of programs, and the future of programs depends upon the direction and the expertise of faculty and their interactions with students.
Van Wienen estimates the decision will impact nearly 100 students, taking away their ability to collaborate with younger and older actors. Junior Sophia Diamond says more people are needed to contribute to the program. Without them, she believes it lacks diversity and experience.
And I feel like it's hard to have theater if you don't have a big group of people with different experiences telling their own stories in their own ways.
All NIU programs are undergoing review this year. In a statement, administration says it must ensure all graduate programs align with the university's mission, values, and goals. Van Wienen believes this is an excuse to quietly cut the program altogether.
Let the actors act. Let the teachers teach their students. Let the program review determine the direction of the program.
In a statement, Paul Kessel, the dean of the College of Visual and Performing Arts, says the Master of Fine Arts and Acting program is one of the 10 programs in the School of Theater and Dance. Recruitment remains ongoing for all other programs.
Thank you, Sydney. And Thursday through Sunday, you can support NIU School of Theater and Dance by attending its fall dance concert featuring Paquita.